everybody, Steven here from Tostemac. It is June 8th of 2024. Hope your weekend's going good. Sharon Starkey, good to see you, good to see you. So, we got a couple big things for you to this live stream. One of them is to talk more about Sonic the Hedgehog, if anyone in the audience wants to talk more about that. But, first and foremost, one thing I want to do, I had this all planned out. Why am I stuttering? So quick update on... No, I'm not going to do the update on that. So, forget. Let's just get right to it. In this live stream, I want to do something that I've never, ever done before. And that is, I'm going to show all of you how I make my autism videos. Now, why am I doing this? Because let me tell you, that recent autism video that came out today... that should not have been that long as it was. I kid you not. This is the honest to God truth. That video about Sonic should not have been that long. Originally, I only planned for about 5 to 7 minutes. 5 to 7 minutes on why autistic people love Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, just talk about like how Sonic was created and what are some traits people love about Sonic. That's it. That was all I was planning to do. But then, I was doing some research on some articles, and, there were consistent results because I cross-checked different articles, and the articles were saying, like, well, there's not just Sonic, but there's also this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. I'm like, oh, God. Oh, stop writing. Stop talking. Because the more I was reading in the articles, the more I knew that I would have to put into the video to make sure I leave no stone unturned. Ugh. So, instead of like being a 5 to 7 minute video, it ended up being like almost 15 and a half minutes. Way longer than I was planning. I mean, part of it was also because I included lines for Thomas to get him involved too, which is nice to have him in the autism videos now and then. But, like, the other thing is, like, there's just so much to put in here that, in the past I would just do, like, a few minutes in the autism videos and leave it up to the audience. But it's like with this one, I want to go over as much detail as possible because those who know me know I love video games. There's no secret about it. I love video games. So, like... if I was going to cover a topic like this, I wanted to do the topic justice, and that includes going into details. So, without further ado, I'm going to take a quick sip. All right. Now, here it is. So, as you can see, I use Adobe Premiere Pro to edit my videos. I use Adobe Audition, which is a whole nother software, to clean up the audio. And then lastly, I use Adobe Photoshop to create the thumbnails. So, I'm going to go ahead and start walking you through the process. Alright. So, I know this looks like a lot, and it is a lot, but I want you to take a minute and think of this as like a 3D printer for those who've seen it. A 3D printer always starts from the bottom and then slowly builds itself back up. Alright? So originally it started out as these video clips right here. That recordings I do in my closet, aka studio. So I do the recording there. Then I bring them into Premiere, put them in here. So the first thing I always do before anything is to edit the audio. That always comes first. To make sure there are no technical issues with that, to make sure I don't have to re-record everything again, because that would really suck. And make sure, the audio levels are balanced, it's not really hurting the ears too much, and then go from there. Now, the music I actually come back to later. I know I said think of it as a 3D printer, but just bear with me on this one. I actually saved the music for later, but we'll get to that in a bit. Next we have let me go over here. Next we have the video clips right here. So why this says video and not like MVI underscore is because what I did was I took all of these recordings and I did something called a nest. A nest is when you combine multiple visual elements into one single group. It's easier for me to organize. Otherwise, it would just be all over the place. So, I'll go into more of the nesting in a bit. So, what I did was I did it all in one nest. That's why it says video. And what I did was, so you see how I have this background right here? So that effect is called an ultra key. Let me show you what it's like without the ultra key. So that's basically what it is. Me recording in the closet with some studio lights pointing towards the green screen. I'm sitting away from it, at a appropriate amount of distance. And, depending on your studio setup or like the lights and green screen and stuff, these numbers right here can vary. Like this was done through a lot of experimentation, like, a lot of trial and error, figuring out, what works, what doesn't work, stuff like that. And the numbers might be different for other people, but these are the numbers that work for me. So what you do with the ultra screen is you click this button, you click somewhere around here, and then you make the adjustments. The goal is to make sure there's no particles or green screen stuff in the background at all. So you want to turn it from this to this. It can be tricky sometimes. It can be tricky. Some days are a bit more tricky than others. But that's pretty much how I do the green screen stuff. So once that's done, then from there, I actually chop up the video into smaller pieces. Because with all of this combined, this was like over an hour's worth of recording. So just imagine that for a minute. I had to work with footage that was over an hour's worth and cut it all the way down to around 15 minutes. That's a lot, because the reason that the recordings are so long is because I do multiple takes. You never want to settle for the first take when it comes to stuff like this, because with my autism videos, the thing is, my autism videos is not just informative. It's not just me sitting in front of a camera and giving you information, kind of like what I'm doing right now. No, what I think of this is, it's a performance. It's about presentation, about how you give the information that helps you stand out from other content creators, Some people would just want to sit in front of a camera, have it record, let them say lines, and then just upload right away. Me, I like to go the extra mile because I like to give a performance for all of you, So to make it worth your time, like you chose to click on my YouTube channel, you chose to check out my videos, I'm going to make it worth your while, that's what I want to do. So that's why the recording's like over an hour, because I do multiple takes and make sure I get the best take possible for all of you. So then, once all the cutting down's been done, that is when we start playing with the music. The reason the music comes next after the cutting down is because I need to figure out, like, what music pieces am I going to use? Like, how long are the music pieces going to take? Am I going to play the entire session? Or am I going to, only use a bit of it? Or do I need to extend the music? Here, let me give you an example. So, originally, this music piece right here was not long enough. So, I'm going to turn off the audio for that. So, this is the music that, So this is the music that I played for this little bit. But the thing was, it wasn't long enough. So what I did was I actually listened to it and, listened for a pattern. And what I did was I made a second copy and made it so that when it goes from here to here, it's a smooth transition. Like, it should be seamless if you're going to make something repeat. Make it seem like, if it was meant to be like that. Like that. I'm not sure if you heard it or not, but like basically, if you're going to do something like that, you want to make it seamless. Otherwise, people that are listening to the music, they're going to know. They're going to know. And with video game music, even more so. So, with that, the music pieces are like selected. I figured out like, how long am I going to play them? And, am I going to play the whole thing? Am I only going to play a part of it? Now, you're probably wondering right here why this piece is lower than the others. There's a reason for that. Sharon Starkey says, it is a process to make quality videos. Well, yeah, like anyone can just like record a video and just post it online. But if you're looking to make like real quality content, if you really want the best that you can do, you have to be willing to put in the time. I'll let you know how much time this took me in a bit. Like once I break everything down, then I will tell you how long it took to make this video, or this video right here. Yeah. So now you're probably wondering, Steven, why is this piece right here lower than right here? There's a reason for that. Is because there's some times where I have audio lines that, they need to be at a certain spot, but at the same time, I can't just drag this piece over here. Otherwise, it's going to override this part, and I don't want that. I want both of those audios playing at the same time. Hence why I need to make that separate row for the music. So here, let me show you.
For kids rising. Do you have an urge for a copyright strike?
So the way I did it was that I set up the illusion that Thomas was supposed to be cutting me off. So that's why I had it set right here as like the starting point for the audio. Because like, it's supposed to be like, rising, and then he cuts me off like that. So that was just a matter of timing, and that's why I couldn't drag it over here, because that audio clip's going to be gone if I do that. So, and this, there we go. And I also did it right here too, because he was supposed to play bye-bye. And looking back, no, I couldn't, because there's a little sound effect right here that's not really shown, but that's supposed to be the sound of me taking off, like, actually leaving the studio. I didn't want to remove that sound effect, so again, I put the audio clip of Thomas saying bye-bye right here, so that way I leave this small area intact. So, that takes care of the music. So, once all the cutting down's done, and the music's been done, that is when I start playing with the visual effects. Now you're seeing right here, intro TV, hanging copy, and stuff like that. So, remember what I mentioned earlier about nesting? Here's what I'm talking about. So sometimes in clips you see like me talking, and then the TV screen is like on the top left. So what's happening here is that I took like, this is how it originally started. It originally starts as like the B shots start as like with me having this background with the rotating logo. That is basically my drawing board. No. Cornerstones. Blueprint. Okay, so originally, what happens is when I start adding the visual effects, all you would see at the start is the background and the rotating Tostemac logo. Nothing else. That is supposed to be the foil, not the blueprint, the foil that holds everything together. So it's here that I start, building the B shots and putting it all together. And then, once that's all said and done, sorry, hold on, let me get a message. Just gotta respond to a message real quick. There we go. There we go. Okay, so what was I saying? Yes. So, it just started out as the background of the Tostemac rotating logo. That's when I start getting to work at building the visual stuff. So, like, at some points, like this part right here. So there are some parts of the autism videos where I only have to show the text because, you know, I have me talking on the right-hand side. I don't really need too many visual effects going on the left-hand side. That's just, you know, that's just to let you know where in the video you're at. What chapter are you in? What section are you in? It helps to keep everything organized. Not just for me, but for the viewers as well. So there are some parts where I will have just the text, but there are other parts where I will use more visual stuff, like the avatars and stuff. So now with the nesting, now this is probably not a good example. Let me fast forward a little bit over to the music part. Yeah, this part. Okay, so here. So what you see right here is just one single bar. That is a nest all put together. What you don't see is this. So we have one part where it's like all of this is the avatars right here. That's the movement and positions and expressions I have. And right here is another nest, which is this. All of this. So here we are. So what we have right here is we start from this little bar, which is comprised of this, which is all the avatar stuff, and another nest, which is this. So what we have right here is the Dreamtime background I use right here. That's supposed to be this Dreamtime. The Dreamtime background is the blue data background you see right there. So that's what that is. And all these, this is the rotating logo. That's the Tostemac rotating logo. And the reason that you can't see it as well, that was actually intentional. That's because I reduced the opacity right here to 20%. And the reason I have it at 20% is to make sure it doesn't get in the way of the rest of the visuals in the video, but at the same time, it's visible enough that you can just see it. That way it's not too distracting. So that's why I did that, because I still want that Tostemac logo to be there because I made it myself. I'm particularly proud of it. And I still want to show it, you know, it's mine. So that's why you see that in the background. It's the Dreamtime background, the blue data stuff, and then the Tostemac logo on top. Once that's done, then I start adding all of this, all of these visual stuff. So like, let's see. So all of this, like gameplay, you know, like characters and the images and stuff. Now the way I have the imagery move is two ways. One is there is a transition I discovered recently called whip that makes it looks like it comes really fast, kind of like, you know, Sonic. So this is a transition effect called whip, and what happens is this. That wasn't supposed to happen. So see how it's like a very fast whoosh. It's like a whoosh effect. So that's one of the transitions I discovered recently that really helps out. And I've actually been doing it with the text too. Now, I don't apply that to all of them, you know. So right here, what we have is some imageries of the examples of the different stages. Now, what I did was I had some of them overlap one another because I wanted to give that illusion, like, you know, shuffling cards. let me bring it down over here. So as you're transitioning from one scene to another, what's happening is as one goes down, the other comes up, and it kind of like shuffles, if you will, like that. So that's what I do with some of the imagery here. Some have different transitions than others. Like some will pop in like woo, some will go like horizontally, some will go vertically. It kind of depends. Like I want to change things up enough to make sure that it doesn't get too repetitive and too boring. You know, keep the audience engaged with the video. Make sure they're still watching it. You know. So once all of this is said and done, then I nest all of this to make sure that A, it's all together, and B, that I have enough room for the avatars. Because here, take a look. So this is like level 3, and this goes all the way up to like a 9th level. That is not much room to work with. Because what's happening is, as I have to pull this up more and more and more, the preview actually gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And that's not good for me, because I need it like about here to make sure I can see all the small details and find anything that I missed. So that's why I nest. So I go here. So I nest it all together. And that's how we have this. And you can see why I do that nest. So like at this point, the visuals are all done. The visuals are all put in. The movements are where I need them to be. Now is like the piece de resistance. I put in the final pieces, which is the avatars. Now there's a reason why I have the avatars go on last. There's a reason for that. And it's something I discovered back when I was making the Inspiring Autism story about Billy West. Because that was heavily involved. Because that was the first time that I've ever done there we go. That was the first time I've ever done an Inspiring Autism stories using the avatars. So that provided a unique challenge for me. Because what was happening was, if I were to do all of the visuals at one time, including the avatars, that would just be way too overwhelming. Like, the problem is, as I was editing the Billy West video, the problem was that as I was trying to put in the avatars, I was like having to move around the text, have to move around the images. No, that's wrong. No, that's too big. No, that's too small. It became too overwhelming, you know? So I thought to myself, okay, no, this is stupid. There's got to be an easier way to do it. So what I do now is, when it comes to using the avatars, I do all of the imagery and all of the, all the B-shot stuff done first, and then I save the avatar stuff for last. That way, when I put the avatars in, I can maneuver around the visuals. I don't have to constantly adjust the visuals, like the text placements, the images. Like, I can leave those alone and have the avatars just navigate around them. Just use the negative space given. So here's a little example right here. So here's the avatar. Now you're noticing, like, why are there so many different rectangles? Why are there so many different boxes? Well, the boxes, if you could just draw your attention right here. So the boxes are the different avatars that I use. Like, each avatar has like a different facial expression. Like, Thomas has a set of expressions. I have a set of expressions right here. And, it's one thing if you just do like just one single avatar pose and that's it. That's what I used to do with, the older Thomas avatar. Just have that one single pose of him crossing his arms, go left, go right, angle like this, angle like that, zoom in, zoom out. Like, that was pretty much all I had. And that was like stale and boring. But now, thanks to Aline_TTV, the one who made all these avatars, I now have more creative freedom to use the avatars to tell the best story I can. But that also means you have to put in more time towards doing it right. So like there's some avatars that have these keyframes right here. So you notice right here there are these keyframes. And the keyframes tell the avatar or tell the item in question where it should go. Like at one key point, it should be out of the screen. At another key point, you should be up here. And the transition becomes like that. Now, there are some where I have him jumping like this. And what's happening here is there are 3 keyframes. 1, 2, 3. So I do all 3 of them at the same height, but then I go back to the second one and then just bring them up a little higher. So 1, 2, 3. So it kind of gives the illusion of him jumping. And then I farted, sorry. And then, some of the other visuals come in. And then here comes Thomas. So what's happening here is, again, with the keyframes, at one point, he's not supposed to be in here. And then the next point, there he is. But another thing that's happening, to make sure that they don't go stale, as that's happening, I'm having a different avatar take its place. Like I put in the exact same coordinates of like the position and scale. But what's happening is I select a different avatar to take its place to make it feel alive. Like, that he's actually responding to Thomas being there. So same thing with the Thomas avatar. I change up the avatars, to change up the mood. And then there's a little bounce right there. Then another change, So as you can see, because I choose the different avatars, since I choose different emotions and the different poses and stuff, it makes the avatars come alive or give the illusion that they're coming alive. That, not only can you keep track of like who's talking and who's not talking, but you can also see like the avatars responding to each other, like what they're saying, what they're doing and stuff like that. And kind of engaging the audience, pointing towards them or looking towards each other or pointing towards the audience and stuff like that. Kind of like that. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into here. And I had to do it for every single B shot. Why is that there? Okay, that was weird. All right. So I did these for like each of the B shots where I'm not in the picture, because whenever I'm not in the picture, that's when I want the avatars to take over. That's when I have the avatars take my place, so that way, it's still a little bit of me, and it's not like you're just hearing a voice. You're actually seeing the character with the voice. So that way, it's not like you're left in null space with a whole lot of nothing. And then I have little bits here and there when I need the avatar to say something, even if I'm in that shot, because we'll go back here. Like, there's this little piece right here where the Steven avatar is talking. Where is he? So like that. So here's the tricky part, and this is during the recording. Whenever I do stuff like this, I have to time myself. I have to do like a mental clock in my head to make sure that I'm holding it for enough seconds so that way there's enough of a transition between me and the avatar, like this.
One would want as a friend. Maybe spend some free time with him, eating chili dogs and onion rings. Wait, does Sonic even eat onion rings?
So notice that as soon as like I'm done talking, that's when the avatar pops in, and that's when I look towards the avatar. That way it seems like I'm engaging with the avatar. And again, I leave enough time.
I mean, considering how many rings he collects on a daily basis, I wouldn't put it past him. Fair enough.
So that part's a little tricky, and there were a few times I actually got it wrong, where like I didn't leave enough time where I actually had to re-record it, or like maybe chop off a little bit of unnecessary audio so that way I could still get it to work. That's not easy, but when you get it right, it's worth it. So, after the avatar is put in, that's when I do all this nesting, because what's happening is all of it's nest together to be like this, right? So that's how it is for the B shots. But what about the shots that I'm in the picture? Well, what happens is I have this hanging TV copy from Shutterstock. This thing right here. So this is from Shutterstock. I put my Tostemac logo on it because why not? What this TV is, it's supposed to be a placeholder for the B shot. So that way, you know, while I'm still talking, while you're still looking at me, there's still stuff going on with the TV. I find it easier this way, so that way, you know, it's not like I constantly bring the TV up, then put it back down, put it up, put it back down. No, I have it down at all times to make it easier on my end, but also, you know, to have the bullet points of like where we are in the video. And another reason is that, you know, as we come in here for like the intro and outro.
In 1991, a video...
So like, as you're coming down, like it shows the presentation, and you know, at the end of the video, normally it's supposed to go back up. So those parts of the hanging TVs, whenever I'm in the picture, and then where it's supposed to be the B shots, I leave them alone. I leave them where they are. And then I have this little outro right here. So normally what's supposed to happen is I do like until the next video or live stream, see you later. I snap my finger and that's it. That's the end of the video. Then it just transitions to this, you know, minus the Eggman. So what I did this time was I actually left the TV on because those who have been watching my autism videos for a while always know that whenever I'm done with the video, the TV goes up. That's it. So, like, when people are seeing that the TV screen's not moving up, some may think, wait a minute, that must be a mistake. Steven must have made a mistake. No, that was entirely intentional because of this part.
And with that, Steven, I don't want to alarm you, but Eggman just stuck into your Chow Gardens again. What? Are you kidding me? Okay, I gotta go. Don't forget to subscribe to Tostemac, click the bell icon, check out our live streams. I gotta go stop this. Bye-bye.
So that's why I did, you know, to shake things up a little bit, to trick the audience, and, well, maybe not trick the audience, but give them a surprise, if you will. So, that's basically a basic breakdown on how I made this YouTube video. And I wanted to show you this because this took way damn longer than I thought it was going to. A lot longer than I originally planned. So, like, you know, I wanted to show it, you know, hope you guys still enjoyed it. So, like, now for getting to the time, like, how much time did it make to do this video? There is a reason why I break up these video making sessions throughout the week. I don't do it all in one go. Because I would just not have enough time. So first, there is the research, like looking up different articles, cross-referencing them, making sure the information you're getting is accurate. That takes about an hour or so on average. Then there's the script writing, about 45 minutes to an hour. Because, like, as I'm doing the script writing, like, not only am I trying to be clever with it, but I'm also, you know, like, proofreading to make sure that, you know, what I'm saying makes sense, what I'm saying is fluent, but also going through it a second time to make sure that, you know, there are no typos, there's no weird structures with the sentences, to make sure that what I'm writing in the script is what I'm going to say in the video. Here's the weird thing, though. Yeah, that's the weird thing. The weird thing is whenever you're about to sneeze, but the sneeze doesn't come out. Ugh. But yeah, so here's the weird thing about the script writing part. I make the script writing script to the best of my ability, but here's the thing. I don't always follow the script. The script is just a basic structure designed to help me keep everything organized as I'm recording in the closet/studio. So what I will do sometimes is during the recording session, I would say a few lines, but then I would stop and think. Maybe I shouldn't really say that or not do this. So instead of saying this, I should say that. Or instead of doing like one gesture with the hands, I should do like another gesture with the hands, and so on and so forth. Like one example is when I was describing in this video, when I was talking about characters distinguishing themselves, originally I said special powers. Like each character has their own special powers, much like each and every autistic has their own special powers. But here's the problem. I was worried that when I said special powers, it would sound too similar to special interests. And as I was doing the video about specialized interests, I've learned that saying special interest is kind of derogative, that you're supposed to say specialized interest instead. It sounds better. So I switched it up from special powers to unique traits or unique abilities instead. So I used to say like, a character has their own superpowers. Now I said each character has their own unique traits. So I thought it would sound better. So I would make those changes during the recording session, like, because, I look at it again with a fresh pair of eyes, a fresh set of ears, and, I start to think, like, is this really what I want to say? Is this really what I want to show to the audience? So there are times where it's like I would change it up at the last minute. Like, not type it per se, but I would just say it, Just typing again would just be a waste of time. So the recording sessions usually take about 45 to 40 minutes on average. It was just that this was a longer video, so this took about an hour's worth of recording. So usually the recording sessions don't last about an hour, but that autosave happens every now and then. Don't worry about it. So what was I going to say? Yeah. So we have the research, which is about an hour. The script writing, which is about an hour. Then the actual recording, which is about like 45 minutes on average. That's about 3 hours and 45 minutes already. So that's already 3 hours and 45 minutes spent on this. Then when we get to putting it into Premiere, editing the audio doesn't take that long. Not with the presets I have. With the presets I have, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes. So not that big a deal. So now we're at 4 hours. Then I had to chop up an hour's worth of recording. I had to chop up all the extra bits, all the outtakes into a single, cohesive, concise video. That takes about another hour. That's about 5 hours now. So then we get to the point where we have the music, and we have to balance the music audio with the audio from my recordings. Because the thing is, I still want the audience to hear the music, but at the same time, I don't want the music audio competing with my audio. My audio needs to come out first and foremost. So I had to prioritize that to make sure my voice comes out louder than the music, which is not always easy. So like putting the music together, assuming I have the music pieces already, would take about about 30 minutes or so, because I want to make sure the audio levels are just right. And even if I'm going in to add the visuals, I'll still listen to the music, because I may not think, maybe the music pieces should be a bit louder, or maybe the music piece is just way too loud, or it's just, it's not right, per se. It's not where I need it to be. So it takes about 30 minutes or so, give or take. So we're now at 4.5 hours. So then, once that's all done, we have to get the visuals in. That that takes a numerous amount of time, depending on how much. Like, sometimes I will do just, sometimes I will just do, like, the text and the subtitles, like the category title and the subtitles, and, like, nothing else, because I won't do a B-shot. There may be the occasional Dreamtime change, where, like, I change the blue data background to another background. So that would, let's see, that would easily take another hour or so, and that's not including the time I have to, like, make all the text in Photoshop, because the text you see here, the text you see here, like the basic concept, scenery, music, characters, that doesn't come in Adobe Premiere. I actually made those texts in Adobe Photoshop. Like, I made each and every one of these different ones in Photoshop, and I had to make them individually, because what happens is, in the past is that, I would have all the text lines in one Photoshop or image, and then I would use a crop effect to just have it scroll down. But ever since I discovered the whip effect, that's a lot more cooler. It's a lot more visually appealing than just a crop scroll. So I had to make each of these individually. So if we're looking at the text, I would say making all of the text needed would be another half an hour or so, because it would take about, like, 2 to 3 minutes per text line, and I usually use a lot of text in my videos, so that's about half an hour there, and then, another hour to add the background and the imagery. Then finally we get to the avatars. Good Lord! The avatars take so long! Because it's like, it's not just like, placing images, like, with the backgrounds and the images stuff. No. What's happening with the avatars is that, I'm making an animation, if you will. I'm trying to make the avatars come to life. Let me turn off the audio real quick. I'm trying to make the avatars come to life. I'm trying to make them engaging with the audience and, making them fun to watch, having the avatars interact with each other, make them seem like actual living beings. And to do that, that's not easy, Because, like, remember, we got all of this. So, doing, like, the animations for these avatars, I would say, if I'm going to lowball it, I'm going to say about, like, another 2 or 3 hours. Like, if it was just the Steven avatar by itself, I would probably just do, like, an hour and a half. So, with all of this in mind, if it was just me and not Thomas being involved, okay, so what if I would have... So, on average, we would be looking at about 8 hours. It would take about 8 hours total, including the recording session, including the script writing and the research. This would take about 8 hours to make. Now, this particular one, the one about Sonic the Hedgehog, this took about 9 to 10 hours. 9 to 10 hours. Assuming I'm not, I'm missing anything. Assuming I'm not lowballing it. Like, if I was highballing it, I would say 11 to 12 hours to make this. But if I were to lowball it, like, if I was actually, like, really focused, this video would take about 9 to 10 hours to make again. Something like this video took me about 9 to 10 hours. An average Tostemac video would take about 7 or 8 hours to make. So, Now, once all that's said and done, you go here. You make sure you save often. And I mean save often because you never know if Premiere's going to crash on you. Then you go like File, Export, Media. And then from here, you put in the file name. I usually do high quality 2160K H.264. Very important. H.264 is the video format for YouTube videos. Don't forget it. Now, once all that's said and done, you got the file name. I don't really mess around with all this. That's not my shtick. Entire source. Now, when you click export, and I'm not going to click it, when you do export, nothing else should be on. You should not have the internet browsers on. You should not have a game on. You should not even have a file open. The only thing that should be running during the export process is Adobe Premiere itself. Nothing else. Because if Adobe Premiere has to compete with other files or other programs running, what's going to happen is that it's going to overwhelm the computer and then it's going to crash. I speak from experience. I've had Adobe Premiere and the computer, not an older computer, not this one. I have older computers completely crash on me during the exporting process several times because I had other things running instead of just having Adobe Premiere run alone as it was. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and close this, not save the changes. And yeah, that is how a Tostemac video is made. So, hope you enjoyed that little lesson on how I make the videos. I wanted to show this one particularly because, like, not only did this video turn out way longer than I originally planned, like, way longer. This video was only supposed to be 5 to 7 minutes, and that's it. No. The article, people are like, no, there's also this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And I'm like, Ethan says balls. Okay. Good to see you. So I wanted to show you that because this video turned out way longer than I thought I would. And, you know, I really wanted to show you, like, what really goes into making one of these Tostemac videos, you know, to show how much effort I put into it. To show, like, I really care about my work and I want to give you guys the best content possible. So those are the main reasons why I wanted to show how I make a Tostemac video today. And, you know, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you really enjoyed, like, you know, the behind the scenes, like, what all goes into making a Tostemac video. So, I just want to show because this video I made about autism and, like, Sonic the Hedgehog, you know, or why autistic people love Sonic the Hedgehog, I personally feel like this was one of the best videos I've ever made. Like, it really shows how far I've come as a content creator, you know, as someone who's done research, someone who did the recording, did the performance, you know, did the editing, you know, showing how far I've come as a video editor and a content creator. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Now, I know we were supposed to talk about Sonic. I went about an hour or so into the live stream, way longer than I thought. So what I may do is, you know, save talking about Sonic for like another week. But if anyone in the chat wants to talk about Sonic, I will leave the floor open to you for about a few more minutes. And if I don't hear anything in the chat in a few minutes, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Because I need to get to Sonic Adventure 2 because I was so focused on making the video about Sonic the Hedgehog, I had no time to play Sonic Adventure 2 and collect rings. And I could easily go bankrupt on that game, let me tell you. Yeah, so if you have any questions about like how I made the video, or like you have anything to say about Sonic the Hedgehog, you just let me know. I'll leave the stream open for a few more minutes. so next week, you know, to kind of make up for the whole ramble and spiel I did for like how I make videos, I will do next Saturday. I will do a live stream where we will just talk about Sonic the Hedgehog and nothing else. I promise. Okay? So we'll go ahead and do that. And then tomorrow we are going to have another Chow Garden live stream at 5 p.m. So, if there are any new viewers here, if you tune into the Chow Garden live stream at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, you can get a chow of your own. All you gotta do is say the word. Which is why I need to go grind for rings again to make sure I have money for said chow eggs. Sorry, I just had to check a message that someone sent me. I swear, sometimes I hear weird noises around the house. Hey SM, how's it going? Oh, SM, I do have a couple of updates for your actually no, you were already here for the previous Chow Garden live stream, so you already know. Um There we go. Okay, so if nobody else has any questions, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. So, again, if there are any viewers here that are new, I would highly encourage you guys to check out the Chow Garden live stream tomorrow at 5 p.m. I'm sure I'll see SM there because one of his chows is being taken care of. Now, I did discover a couple new things about the Chow Gardens, but I will save that for tomorrow. No, 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 SM, no, 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 SM, that did not happen. That is a lie, and you know that's a lie. Lying's a bad thing. You really shouldn't lie. So, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. So, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this little presentation on how I make videos. If you do enjoy what you see, consider subscribing, click at the bell icon, all that good stuff that makes Tostemac grow. I'm probably going to change up, like, the title and, like, the keywords in, no, you do not have video. No, you do not. Stop lying. So, oh, Sharon Starkey was here. Bye, Sharon. Hope you enjoyed the presentation. So, right. So don't forget to subscribe, click the bell icon, all that good stuff. Hope you enjoy our content. I highly encourage you to check out the Sonic video because I'm going to say again, it is possibly one of the best videos I've ever made. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope you subscribe and check out more of Tostemac content. And until the next live stream, which is hopefully tomorrow, see you later.